looks as though Donald Trump's hands are goopy. Okay? That looks like goopy hands to me. If I've ever seen goopy hands in my life, that's some goopy hands. He has lesions on his hands. It could be from all sorts of stuff, but it's pretty weird. People are now speculating as to whether or not Donald Trump has syphilis. This is James Carville, who is quite old, and he has a nice accent, and he also has old man crusties in his mouth. So we get to listen to old man Krusty talk about old man goopy hands, and let's see what happens.
If you go to the Drudge Report, and I think it'll still be up, there's a story that talks about Trump having hand cuts, and you can link to it. They don't look like cuts to me. They look like sores. And
yeah, I mean, this one looks a little bit like a blister. This doesn't. I mean, that just looks, these look like sores. I agree. Primary syphilis is secondary syphilis. It's a rash. It's itchy, rough, red. So I'm told by doctors that these are a little big for syphilis, but I guess if you were picking at it, maybe. Latent. I mean, typically you get this in moister places, right? You'd get it, of course, from sexual intercourse. But you could get it other places, I guess. What's worse, chat? Old people crust or old people goop? Ooh, wow, that's a big one. No. Yeah, he has big sores on his hands.
And I've asked a number of MDs what medical condition manifests itself through hand sores, and the answer is immediate and unanimous: secondary syphilis. All right, I think there's a good chance this man has the clap.
He's just decomposing. Did they get his phylactery and he's decomposing? That could be it. They could be warty scratching. They could be.
And I'm not being particularly secretive about it. I am texting the photo. You can link to it. It's in some operation called a Daily Mail. It's some British thing. It's probably a Fleet Street rag, but maybe the picture was doctored or whatever. But maybe this story will go somewhere, maybe it won't, but I'm telling you, at 1 o'clock Eastern, I'm humping this thing like a young dog on old furniture.
What? Old guys. I'm not pro-Trump, but the way that the liberals talk about this is weird. He's humping it like an old dog on furniture. All right, dude. Can I get some claps in chat for that clap? Uh-oh. They destroyed his last Horcrux. What was his last Horcrux?
Well, I have an idea for the Iowa caucuses. Why don't you just do...
What terrible thing is happening in the corner of this guy's mouth? I don't want to look at it. What's the terrible shit that's happening here?
Have the caucus and just go.
I can't even fucking pay attention to you, man.
And have people go out in the cold and go and do it.
What is happening?
Is it always was?
No, I feel like I gotta wipe my mouth.
As a poll could possibly be. And
dude, why is James Carville eating booty in between shots? Is that what this is? No, I think this is like dip spit or something. Ironically, it's also syphilis. Yeah.
You got to be a really good poster to nail the Iowa caucuses.
Gross.
It's not like
I can't look, bro. I gotta look away.
Where you have a lot of people vote or certain to vote, anything like that. I have a little more negative, well, maybe more than a little more negative Trump take than you do. If it was a contested Democrat, of any kind of contest, and it was Biden against any couple of three Democrats.
That's how he knows it's syphilis. He's like, I've seen syphilis before. Okay? He's seen syphilis on a dog that's humping his furniture, I bet.
To one Democrat.
He's seen dog syphilis.
And he got 51. It'd be the fucking end of days. I mean, I know we're dating ourselves. We're going back to Gene McCarthy in New Hampshire in 1968. He got 42%. That's in an old, white, now Republican state.
This is disgusting.
That an incumbent, and Trump is an incumbent, I'm sorry.
Get a napkin or something, bro.
breeders is, can get only 51% against, by the way, which
Yeah, it's on
turned
both
out
sides.
to be not overly impressive opponents. I mean, DeSantis is almost a laughingstock now.
I do like his voice. What if we did this? There we go. Totally fine with this. Great video. No notes. Ah! Great video. Totally fine with that. We could look at the Daily Mail photo. What is? Yeah, go to site. It's the Daily Mail. I want to go see the. Want to see his weird hand. Yeah, I mean that looks pretty bad still. This looks pretty bad still. What kind of ads are you sending me, bro? What is this shit? Fuck off. Wow, the Daily Mail has lots of weird ads. I mean, I earn a torrid credit card. I don't even shop there. Bad ads. And Vivek had to drop out. Carroll testified Wednesday at second federal trial. So he's currently in his federal trial, of course. This one's the sexual assault one, I think. Carroll testified Wednesday in the second federal civil court trial over claims against Trump, who denies them all. She told New York's jury that Trump shattered her reputation by lying about sexually assaulting her and calling her a whack job. Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, was also told to sit down by Judge Lewis Kaplan after he rejected her bid to delay the trial so the former president could attend his mother-in-law's funeral. The trial has been a shit show. It goes on in my group chat a lot. We don't cover Trump a ton on this channel because, I mean, do you need more fucking Trump news? Like, I feel like he's kind of a downer. But I have terrible news, everyone. Not only does he have syphilis, but he's been saying base things. Donald Trump said a base thing. And what was it? What was the base thing?
More liquid gold and wealth under our feet than any other nation. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas, more liquid gold.
Hold on, not
well,
this.
I just
This
met
is
non-liquid gold.
This
You know
is
where it was? Iowa. It's called corn.
You're right. You're right. The liquid gold was corn. You're right. There we go. That's the only. I don't know what the fuck he's actually saying. I just saw this said corn in it.
They have. It's non-liquid. That's my day. You have more non-liquid gold. They said, "What is that?" I said, "Corn." They said, "We love that idea. You know, that's a pretty cool thought."
God,
isn't
he's
it?
so stupid.
That's a nickname in its own way, but we came up with a new couple of words for corn.
God, he's so fucking stupid, dude. I don't understand it. I'll never understand how boomers are like, that's my guy. It must be the lead paint, dude. It must be the lead paint. New sub alert? Maybe.
Go.
I don't want Donald Trump on here. How dare you co-opt corn for your pro-oil stance? It should be only corn. No oil.
And Nikki Haley she's helium light. I mean, she's a real featherweight, and she looked decent on paper. DeSantis looked, even better on paper, and they just had nothing. And Trump, and I don't know, when you look at the entrance polls, I want to be careful to call them entrance polls. The third party is going to get a lot of fucking votes in 2024. I'm just telling you.
I think so too. And I think that benefits Biden, maybe. I don't know. They should just stop. They're not going to not run Biden. How? So we need. This is the. I know this is about Trump's syphilis hand, but that the hopefully the syphilis just eats away at his brain and we're good, and it's over. But how do I tell? So I have been a proponent of in the past and currently still. I mean, this is still my take, kind of. Although with a little less sort of gumption. I'm voting against Donald Trump for whoever will beat him, unless that person is worse than Donald Trump, right? And that doesn't seem to be the case with Joe Biden. He is bad. But it's very hard to get leftists to be like voting for a guy aiding in the murder of Palestinians. And so now it's like, now we're in a situation where you should have the good ethical take on Palestine, and you'd run away with this election. You'd run away with it. But, it's not just one guy either. It's the entire party you're voting on. Oh yeah, I mean, still vote. If you watch my channel and you don't go vote at the end of the day, like, that's actually crazy to me. It's just one of the tools in the tool belt, man. We got to be a little pragmatic. We may not respect this power structure in America, but the rest of the Americans do, and that's all that matters. We're subject to their whims, and we have to use their system. We have to play within their system to make change. And voting's part of that. And I agree. I mean, I'm not opposed to voting in general. I'm opposed to the Electoral College and American democracy, or representative democracy, if they want to call it that. Oligarchy, essentially. I'm opposed. Anyway, tired of this bus going right? Well, luckily it's going left for the most part. You're voting for Dr. Cornel West? Yeah, but he's a grifter too. Cornel West sucks too. It's all... No. No. Vote against Donald Trump and then vote. That's my strategy. Vote against Donald Trump for whoever is the opposition. It doesn't matter who it is, unless they're worse than Trump, which, I mean, is a very short list of people and would be all Republicans. And then down ticket, vote for everybody else. Anybody else you want, which will be, of course, a lefty. We vote on who we want to fight. That's what I'm saying. I want to fight liberals. I don't want to fight fascists. I mean, I do want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather have political disagreements with liberals, because we can find common ground, right? Political disagreements with fascists is just like, die then. You know what I mean? Like, just literally, both sides are like, I mean, you can just die. Liberals are like, well, we can talk about doing some studies on whether or not we could give people health care. Anyway, that's my opinion, and I think it's the correct one. I know it's the correct one. It's not really an opinion. It's just obviously factually true. It is easier as leftists to fight liberals for our values than it is to fight fascists, because we more likely align with liberals on a lot of our values, right? Or at least we're closer to them. It makes so much sense. I want Trump in prison. Well, he might be in prison. He might not even be able to be voted for. You might have to worry about this, but we need the institutional legitimacy that the Democratic Party would offer us. Like leftists in running for office. That's why they caucus with Democrats. Yeah. How do you have literal dinosaurs in charge? We don't have age limits.
This is going to get a lot.
We should,
unless something really changes, and hard for me to see the change. But I was less impressed with this than most people. Well, look, the only thing that's going to deal with this election denial are the actuarial tables. All right, but 2-1, that's 66 2/3 to 33 1/3, roughly. 33 1/3 of your own party is a pretty freaking big number. I mean, you can look at it one or two ways. You can look at it, and but to our listeners, viewers, you can look at it. He won by 30, or you can look at it. He was won over 50. All right, you can say, "Well, gee,
I don't really know what he's talking about." He's talking to his chat, and they didn't involve it in the video. But he's literally talking to chat during what I assume is a live stream thing during his hosted political video. Yeah. And they didn't show the context of whatever he's talking about.
1/3.
He just boomhauer there. Yeah, I don't know.
And I mean, there are substantial doubts among more than a sliver of the Republican Party about this guy. And how, of course, there's substantial doubt, to be fair. There are substantial doubts by more than a sliver of the Democratic Party that have their doubts about President Biden. I just, for just hard for me not to see a uninspiring election with the third party doing really well, and and we got to do obviously everything possible to reelect Joe Biden. It's
So you're gonna have a lot. I mean, to reelect him, I'm less invested in reelecting Joe fucking Biden and more invested in not electing Donald Trump. So I mean, I think that's been my stance since fucking Joe Biden started going. I mean, he's a liberal though. That's what his view is. So
kind of life mission here, but this is going to be a challenging endeavor. And there's a lot you can say negative about No Labels. I've said a lot negative about it. My own view is it's a grift. We don't disclose where the fundraisers that coming to the list. We got some billionaires getting together and giving a bunch of money, and we're not going to tell you who they are or how much they gave.
Is he against billionaires? James Carville? No, he's a classic capitalist, isn't he? This man's been a Democrat pundit forever. The Raging Cajun. Louisiana State University. Let me see if he has. I want to see your political takes. Work, Greece. Dude. Do you just have that in your whoops. Early life and education. Personal life. Wait, they don't just have his fucking. I have to read through each one. Meh, fuck it. Anyway, pretty confident he's pretty classic capitalist. Anyway,
a really fresh new party. Yeah, of course, I think
both Trump and Biden are horrible. Biden is not even close to as horrible as Donald Trump is, and he's horrible. It's not close. It's not comparable. It's not even close to comparable.
Premise of it is pretty much staggering bullshit. However, the one thing you can't say is there's not a market for this, because there is a market.
Dude, he's just dribbling.
If it's No Labels, if it's RFK, his quirkiness and goofiness, I can see that appealing to certain.
3 wars. Why are you pretending that Joe Biden is similar to Donald Trump in policy or ethics or any of that? Come on, man. Like, it's not close. It's really not close. We're in 3 wars. I mean, not really. Like, it's the same American proxy war shit liberals always do. It's not like I'm a big fucking Joe Biden fan, but when you compare Joe Biden and Donald Trump and their respective fucking cabinets, their respective, just the political ideas they have going down the line, the people they surround themselves with, it's not close. Would you like to call you and talk about it? No. I'm not interested in all about defending Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Joe Biden is clearly a better choice than Donald Trump. It's not close. You can just use your brain. We can also agree Joe Biden is bad because they're both ass. You're wrong. You're wrong when the 2 choices are those 2. He's not ass relative to Donald Trump. He's ass relative to, like, fucking me. He's ass relative to a leftist. Yep. I agree. But that's not, like, pretending that you're going to get a leftist candidate or something. Like, he's straight up he's better in every category than Donald Trump. It's not close. For all of the values that you hold. It doesn't make any sense at all to compare the 2. It does the rights work for them, in my opinion. It's not close. Black folks are currently over 40% of the homeless population. Yeah. That's not because Joe Biden. That's just a fucking... This sounds like gas price goes up, immediately blame whoever is president, right? Like, come on. That is not just Joe Biden's fucking fault, man. Like, this is... The problem here is a systemic issue with the country and how we backslide into right wing, but he's not doing anything about it. Man, Designs, you are just absolutely fucking blasted in the brain by this one. You're blasted in the brain. I agree. You need to listen to the words I'm saying. Joe Biden is not who I want for president. Joe Biden is better than Donald Trump. To argue about that is just fucking crazy. I think they're salty about you calling Cornel West a grifter. I mean, Cornel West doesn't seem to have the ability to do this thing. Yeah, I mean, he's just not. Bro, please let me talk to you. No. I'm good. In the Joe Biden is just like Donald Trump. Fuck off.
Unenthusiastic vote.
I'm fucking good on that one.
You know, Jill Stein wasn't much. She won in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin by more than Hillary lost by. Ralph Nader got, I don't know, 2% in Florida, cost Al Gore the election.
Do you think Trump would make it better? Of course not, right?
You don't need much, and I think you're going to get, my view is you're going to get more than a little bit now.
No, I'm not. No, this is a bad opinion. You have a bad opinion about this.
My fear is it's going to somewhat break away from us. I don't know that, but it's my great fear. But
Was this a can
they're not
opener?
going to get 3% of the vote. They're going to get a shitload more than that. And it may be, as Perot was the case at 92, it didn't matter in the end. If he would have been in there, it'd have been the same result. That's pretty much studied to the nth degree. But you don't know. It's a variable that we don't exactly know how it's going to turn out.
How far is it going to go?
Wrong. It's bye-bye Constitution.
We can make some changes to the Constitution. I think that'd be just fine. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious that Donald Trump is bad for the country. It's not really. I mean, not just bad for the country, bad for like the world. He's just a bad guy to have any sort of power, especially power over this country that has all these resources, military might, and shit like that. Yeah, that's just stupid. As far as the syphilis hands are concerned, you know what? We have been hoping to crab dance on this man's grave for a long time, and it hasn't happened yet. Yeah. I don't want to talk to you about the merits of Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Like, it's not a conversation. I think Jake is wrong. Well, it doesn't matter what you think. It's irrelevant to me. I don't care. You're wrong. No, you. I have many times talked about third-party voting. You can vote for third party if you want, and then you can rest on your laurels thinking that there's some kind of fucking cosmic scale to judge you on. My vote is irrelevant to my... I'm going to vote against Donald Trump. I'll vote for Joe Biden 400 times in a row. I don't care. To vote for fucking Cornel West, a third party, on the national ballot when you need to just vote against the guy. Yeah, that's crazy. We've talked about this a million times. It's really not that hard to understand. I'm not incorrect. Cornel West won't get anywhere near the amount of votes that will make it even close to necessary. If you want to vote for third-party candidates in your local and state elections, that would be ideal, because then you could build actual fucking coalitions within the parties to do it. But every single time, the third-party voters just want to go like, I'm going to waste my vote on a third-party person that can't even get fucking 5% of the vote. Man, it's just like, you're not thinking. You don't use... You must be bad at strategy games. You're not good at chess. You haven't made any thoughts about the longevity of this project here that we call society. I think it's pretty easy to understand that the Electoral College is fucked, and the way we have to fucking do it is we have to choose the least bad option on the way to trying to fix that shit. But it's not fixed yet, and so we have the two options. Most of the votes the Dem gets are from black voters. Cool, man. I don't know. What's that fucking matter? Most of the votes Dem get? I don't think most Dem votes are black. What? That doesn't make any sense. I think they get most of the black vote. I don't think most of their votes are black. I don't think that's true at all. Yeah, college-educated vote. Yep. Fact check you. The demographics, Democrat votes. Yeah, of course you're wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's just like pretty easy to look at because there's more white people in the country. So most of the voters are 64% of the votes are from white people because of course they are. It's just the population difference. They get most of the black votes though, right? They only get 1% Republican, 17% Democrat. So yeah, I'm right again. Of course, right. Like that just makes sense. You just have to think about it for 2 seconds instead of just saying stuff before thinking. Pretty easy stuff. All right. Moving on.